Welcome back. In our last set of videos, we had looked at taking rational expressions, finding the LCD, the lowest common denominator of these expressions, and converting these expressions to equivalent fractions. We will now use those two techniques to add and subtract rational expressions that have unlike denominators. There are 4 steps involved. The first step is to find the LCD. The second step is to convert each expression to an equivalent expression or equivalent fraction using the LCD. The third step is to actually perform the operation. Either you're going to add these expressions or subtract them. And the fourth step is to simplify your result. Let's take a few examples. Here we're asked to add two rational expressions, 3 divided by 10x squared plus 7 divided by 25x. The first step is to find the LCD. We look at 10 and 25, and the lowest common denominator for 10 and 25 is actually 50. And we look at x squared and x, and the lowest common denominator for these, x squared and x, is the highest power on that variable, which would be x squared. So the next step now, once we have our LCD of 50x squared, is to write these two fractions as equivalent fractions with 50x squared as the denominator. Once we have that, we now see what should I multiply this fraction 3 over 10x squared by to get something over 50x squared. Well, we can see that 10x squared times 5 gives me 50x squared, so therefore I have to multiply both top and bottom by 5. And if we do that, we see we get 3 times 5 is 15, and 10x squared times 5 is 50x squared. Similarly, 25x will go into 50x squared 2x times. So we have to multiply both top and bottom here by 2x. So 7 times 2x is 14x, 25x times 2x is 50x squared. So now we have the same denominator. We can just add the fractions just by adding the tops. So we get 15 plus 14x divided by 50x squared. So that's the addition of our two fractions. 3 over 10x squared plus 7 over 25x gives you 15 plus 14x over 50x squared. Now we want to look and see if we can simplify this. In this case, there isn't anything we can simplify, and so this is our final answer. Let's take another example. In this example, we're asked to do a subtraction. 6x divided by x squared minus 4 subtract 3 divided by x plus 2. Again, we have to find the LCD. That's the first step. We look for the lowest common denominator of these two denominators. Now, it should be noted that x squared minus 4 can actually be factored into x plus 2 times x minus 2. So the denominator here is x plus 2 times x minus 2, and this denominator is x plus 2. So we see that the LCD will be x plus 2 times x minus 2, because this can go into this denominator, and so x plus 2 can also go into this denominator. So our LCD is x plus 2 times x minus 2. Now you have the LCD, you want to write these two fractions as equivalent fractions with this as a denominator. So we see that x squared minus 4, which is x plus 2 times x minus 2, we actually don't need to multiply this by anything to get this, because they're the same thing. Therefore, this fraction can just be rewritten. The second expression, we see x plus 2, how many times will that go into this denominator, x plus 2 times x minus 2? Or in other words, what should I multiply this by to get this one? And we see we have to multiply both top and bottom by x minus 2. And so if we multiply the top by x minus 2, we get 3 times x minus 2 divided by x plus 2 times x minus 2. Now we can actually do our subtraction because we have the same denominator. So going ahead with that, we get 6 minus 3 times x minus 2 divided by our denominator of x plus 2 times x minus 2. So we should simplify this out a little bit. So we get 6x minus 3x, minus 3 times x is minus 3x, plus 6, minus 3 times minus 2 is plus 6, all divided by our denominator of x plus 2 times x minus 2. We can combine these two terms. We can combine 6x and 3x 6x minus 3x gives us 3x. And then we can see now we have 3x plus 6. We can actually simplify that by factoring out a 3. So if I factor out a 3 from the top here, what do we get? Well, we get 3 times x plus 2. 3x plus 6. 3x plus 6 becomes 3 times x plus 2. Now we've simplified it as far as we can, but we see something that we have an x plus 2 here and an x plus 2 down below. We can simplify this rational expression. The x plus 2's can cancel, and so all we're going to be left with is 3 divided by x minus 2. And so this is our final answer. So 6x divided by x squared minus 4 minus 3 over x plus 2 gives you 3 over x minus 2.